Hey, this is Ken at Capital Advantage Tutoring, and it's my job to get you past the Series 7 exam and the SIE exam. So now with T+1, we're fully on, no more T+2. Get that out of your mind. There's no more T+2. Think T+1 all the time. We have to talk about the whole dividend thing. That changes. It changes. Everything changes by a day. So let's get into that. We have to change this up a little bit. So there's really 4 dates we worry about with dividends, right? So there's declaration, X, record, and payable. So what we're going to talk about now is just the dates first, and then we're going to build into how you figure out X date and who gets it and who doesn't. Now, so the declaration date, remember, all dividends have to be declared by a board of directors, hence the declaration date. So let's say, so it's 5/29 right now. So let's say, just to change it up, we'll say the declaration date is, June 1st. Should capitalize it, show respect to the month, right? June 1st, 2024, whatever. Now, June 21st, we declare it. We're going to declare a 50-cent dividend for anyone who's an owner of record. That means you have to settle by that day. We'll say June, I see it, there we did it right this time, June 23rd, and we'll say that's a Thursday. I have no idea if it's right. Some person who knows calendars well will be like, that doesn't work, but I'm going to go with it anyway, and I can't even spell. So look how crazy that is, that I can't spell the word Thursday. Okay, never. And look what I did. I did not capitalize it. I shall now. I shalt capitalize. There we go. And then put a space for no reason. Now, and then we'll say the payable date is, I don't know, July 1st, whatever. Okay. No one really cares about the payable date. That's the way the check comes. Now, to be fair, if this payable date is in a new year, let's say this shit was December and the record date was December 30th, you don't pay taxes on the dividend then, you pay tax when it's paid. So if the payable date is Jan 2nd or Jan 3rd, then it's in the new year, not the old year. Not a real big point, but here we go. So now you notice I put the ER. So DERP still sort of works, but you got to fuck with it a little bit. Now, DERP, declaration X, record payable. Now, to be fair, the company does the declaration date, the record date, and then the payable date. The exchanges do the X date because that's based on settlement. And we've changed settlement. Settlement is now what? Yes, right, T+1. No more T+2. So let's talk about this. So the record date is Thursday. So let's get into this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Again, I just don't like Thursday very much. Huh? Friday. So let's stretch that out a little bit. So we can agree that Thursday is a record date. So we're going to put a big ass R on that. We'll do this. We'll put a big heart next to it. So that's our record date. That's the record date. We're going to put that here. Record date. We'll drag it up so it doesn't block my little beautiful heart. Oh, yes, I see. Okay. Let's leave it there. Okay. So my record date is Thursday. We'll put the dates under here. We'll go backwards because I can't do dates. We'll say the 23rd, right? So we'll say the 23rd, 22nd, 1st, and feel free to fast forward. And then the 20th. I might as well put the last one in the 24th. Okay, so now with settlement being T+1, we have to change things. So remember, the record date is the day you must be an owner of record. That means you have to settle by the record date. So I want you to think of it as like, so I want you to think of this. I want you to think of the transfer agent, the one who decides has the list and keeps track of it, of who gets paid, like the paying agent. So on Thursday, on the record date, at the end of the day, the transfer agent will look at all the people's names on the list and say, if you're on the list, you get the dividend. If you're not on the list, you don't. So again, if your name is on the list, you get the dividend. If it isn't, you aren't. Remember that's at the end of the day. So if you settle on Thursday, you're settling by the end of the day, you get the dividend. So let's play a little game. So let's say you buy the shares on Monday. When do you settle? Tuesday. That's before Thursday. So yeah, so let me get rid of that. So then in this case, I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to set up buyer up here. The buyer is here. Okay. And then the seller's here. So if I put a check mark, that means the buyer, wherever I put the check mark, tells me who gets a dividend. So if you buy it on Monday, right? If you buy it on Monday, you settle on Tuesday, you get the dividend. Good. Now, let's say you buy it on Tuesday, you settle on Wednesday. So yes, you get the dividend. Boom, because you're settling in time. Put it there. Now, so that means, remember, that means the seller's not getting it, right? So if you buy it on Wednesday, you settle on Thursday. Yes, you still get the dividend because you're settling on Thursday. So we're still going to get it. Where's my little check mark? There it is. So on Wednesday, they check it. Now, that used to not be the case, but now it is. That means the seller's not getting it on these days. But now, what happens is if you buy it on Thursday, when do you settle? You settle on Friday. So that's not good. So that means you settle too late. They don't know who you are. So then the seller gets a dividend, and this is going to be called the X day. So in this case, now, from now and forevermore, or until they change it again, the X date is the same day as the record date. Okay, so the X date is the same day as a record date. Now, let's do a little switch up. If you decide to buy it on a same day settlement, cash settlement, there's not regular way. This is regular way. If you decide to buy it on a cash settlement, that means you settle the same day. So then if you did buy it on Thursday, you would get the dividend. So maybe if we put here cash settlement, right? Let's try something new. Cash settlement, I can't type for shit, but it's a cash settlement, then then the buyer would get it. Okay, then the buyer would get it if we bought it on Thursday, but then they wouldn't get it on Friday. So even we can even change, say buyer, cash settlement, buyer. Put this over here so it'll show it. Well, it's going to cross over right now, but whatever. Oh, but there we go. It worked. Sometimes it works out. So in the buyer and a cash settlement, they will get the dividend because if they buy it on Thursday, they settle the same day, they will get it. But if they buy it on Friday, they don't. That's really all it is. It's nothing crazy. Now let's have a little fun since I did say the dividend. What happens on the X day? Okay, let's say, for example, the stock's trading at 50 cents every day. You know what? We can erase this. We're done. Okay. So again, if you think about it, the seller, the first day you can sell it and get the dividend is the record / X date. Sell it. You have to buy it before the X. Remember, don't get tricked on these questions. So if you buy it before the X day, you get the dividend. If you buy it on the X day, you don't. If you sell it before the X day, you don't get the dividend. If you sell it on the X day or after, you get the dividend because they think you're there. Okay, now let's get rid of this. So let's say the stock's trading at 50 bucks. If you buy it on Monday, you're going to get the dividend. We know that, right? So you're going to get the dividend, and then you're going to get a check. What was the dividend for 50 cents? You buy it on the $50, you're going to get a check for 50 cents. Boom, you get that. So that means you technically netted out $49.50. Because you buy it for 50, you get a 50-cent dividend, you're really getting $49.50 after all is done. Now let's say the next day, buy it on Tuesday, you get the dividend. Let's just say it's a stagnant stock, it doesn't change. Same thing, you're going to pay 50 cents and you net out $49.50. Pretty good. I like it so far, nothing crazy. Wednesday, same thing. Still trading at 50. Boy, this is a boring stock. 50 cents, $49.50 after netting. Now, if you buy it on Thursday, you don't get the dividend. So if you buy it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you get the dividend, you're going to get a check. So you end up paying $49.50. Now on the X day, since you're not getting the dividend, it's a zero-sum game, they're going to drop the price, the reference price of the stock to $49.50. So if the stock didn't move, you would buy it $49.50, you would get no dividend, right? Because it's just not a thing, because it's not getting anymore. So your net is still $49.50. So there really shouldn't be any difference between getting the dividend and not. However, trying to get someone to buy it before the X day to get the dividend is a violation. It's called selling a dividend. You don't want to do this because in reality, think about it, what big evil and agency comes after you when you get cash. So if you buy it here, right, you're going to get a check for 50 cents, which means the IRS is going to take a piece of that. And since it's right away, you'd be paying like between 20 and 37% taxes on that, maybe more. So since it's ordinary income and it's a dividend and it's not qualified, because obviously you didn't own it for 60 days before, you just bought it here, you're going to pay full ordinary income taxes on it, which kind of sucks. However, if you wait till the X day, you're going to pay 50 cents less. Look, it's the same net price, but you're just paying less and not getting a dividend. That's not taxable till you sell it. So then later when you sell it, you'll pay capital gains tax. And if it's more than a year, you only pay 15%, 15 or 20%, or even zero if you don't make a lot of money. So getting them to buy it here is not a good thing. It's called selling a dividend. Probably shouldn't do it. Now, if you think, oh, you should buy the stock now because it's going to go up, totally different story. But if you try to sell them the dividend and say, hurry it up and buy it so you get the dividend, that's a little disingenuous. It's not a good thing. It's unethical and it's a violation. So again, the X day from now going forward for forevermore until they change it again, forevermore until they change it, is going to be the record date and the X date are the same thing. Now, one caveat to this. All this is good, good, good. Now, let's say it's a stock split. What happens is, just so you know, when's the X day on a stock split? The X day on a stock split is a day after the payable date, because when the record date doesn't mean shit. So in a stock split, they're gonna just change the price on that day, the payable date. So if you buy it on July 2nd, you don't get the stock split. You'll just buy it at a low price. So on stock splits, the X day is the day after the payable date, not after the record date, day after the payable date. Probably not heavily testable, but I just want to make sure you understand that if we announce a stock split and it goes into effect on July 1st, if you buy it on July 1st, you buy the stock, and then the next day you have twice as many shares or less, or whatever the split is. But if you buy it the day after, you just buy it at the lower price. Again, no big freaking difference. It's all a zero-sum game. Hope that helps a little bit. Welcome to T+1, and everything gets a lot easier now, so you don't have to think. And don't forget to meet me every Tuesday and Thursday night on the Tube of You, 8:30 p.m. live Q&A. I'm the original, and I'll see you later.